go ahead and do ID terminator. Okay, now he have access to it. So what we're gonna do now is let's work through this here. Okay, so give me one moment. Okay, so in Linux, anytime you do any updates, add or remove, a specific file gets updated. Okay, what that means is, it means that a file with the name and groups, in this example, to add a user, one specific file gets updated. So let's see which file is that. So if you do cat /etc/password passwd and hit enter. So what happened is /etc/passwd. So what happened here is, when you look at the password file, in here you see terminator, and then you see his ID and group ID and his home directory. So when you add a group, when you add a user right now, another user. Okay, so if I do user add, so if I do user add, and I'll do Superman, okay, and I'll hit enter. Oh, okay. So I have to be a user. I have to be root, right? But since I'm already a part of a group which belongs to administrator, that means which has full access, root access, wheel group, what I could do is, I don't really have to become root. What you could do is sudo, and then you could type the command user add Superman, and you hit enter. It will ask you for your password here. So I'm going to provide my password. Oh, I think I gave the wrong password. Okay, so what happened is, I created a user without actually becoming root. So before that, okay, this is used for running root commands without actually becoming root. Becoming a root user. Okay, so what you have to do is, all you have to do is add sudo in front of it. adding sudo in front of a command will execute root permission, will execute a command using root authority. Okay, so everybody go ahead and go run this command here, sudo su user add superman. So it should ask you for your own specific password here. Earlier I told you you cannot add a user being without a root, right? So when you do this, the command in the background, it will run as root. Everybody following me with me? Okay, good. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the etc password file /etc/passwd. So here, when we read the file, only Terminator was the last entry, right? Let's bring that command back up and let me read it. And you see, Superman is added.
Mr. Zafar, can you bring back that last command, please? Because I wasn't able to get it.
Yeah. Sudo user add and Superman.
No, I think the other one, the cat.
The cat one.
Cat etc password. This is a specific file and it is sitting in the etc folder, okay? I already told you etc is etc holds. Let me give me 1 second here. What does /etc holds? This is it contains a configuration file, short for etc. So this file is a configuration file. That's why it's sitting in the etc folder. So cat etc password. Okay, remember this is odd here. passwd. It will hold the user IDs. When user is added, this file gets updated. So this file got updated, right? But we ran the command as sudo user, right? So the moment you add the sudo and provide the password, it is actually running as a root here, okay? Zafar didn't do anything. The user root administrator, who is the one who verified that Zafar is able to run this specific command, then he updated the file in the background. Okay, let's take a look at where the passwords are saved. So the file to look at the passwords, I mean, you're not going to look at the passwords. You're going to look at the look at the file that holds the password information. Okay. So that file is called cat etc shadow. So if permission is denied, what are you going to do? What do I have to add to this file?
Sudo.
Yeah, let me add sudo in front. sudo, and then you cat the file. And it's asking for the password again. I'm going to provide the password. Okay, look in here. Okay, let me stretch this even more. Okay. Look at it here is this is the user and this part is the password, but it's scrambled here. Even as a root user, you're not able to see it. This is a alphanumeric password. It's encrypted. You need a high-level cryptographic software for you to be able to read the password here. So most of the time you won't be able to use it. Okay, so whatever we gave the terminator the password red hat, right? So my password is red hat, but what it did was it encrypted it. So if I give the user Superman red hat again, it will not exactly do this number, alphanumeric number. It will actually scramble it. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment and ask for questions. Okay, ask me your burning questions. What is it like you're looking in here, and what do you want to ask a question?
Can you show the command again to see the passwords?
Yeah, is this here? My daughter Omara is here, so. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Omara? Okay. So, what will happen is you could provide this password, copy this encrypted password, and then put it in between here. Okay, so look at this here. Terminator line starts from here and ends here, right? So why is it the Superman is it doesn't have too much information here? It does have this much information. So colon is the separation field. It separates each field here. Superman, then a colon, then this is a password field. This guy doesn't have a password, so why is it not showing the password? We just created the user.
Because you haven't changed the password on it?
Yeah, very good, very good. You have not set the password yet. If you tell the user Superman, hey, I created a user, but if you don't give him password, it's meaningless. Okay, so let's see here. what will happen here is sometimes the application ID is embedded with the password, right? How do I explain you? What happens is sometimes application ID is every ID has a password to it, but some applications are there, they are going on to another host, okay, but they want to keep the same exact password here. So I'm going to show you another. Let's go ahead and create the password for Superman. PASSWD Superman. Okay, only root can specify a user. So what do I have to do? I didn't hear you.
Do in front of it.
What do I do?
Do you put sudo in front of it?
Yeah, sudo. Very good. Okay, and it's asking for the password. Okay, and then now it's asking for the Superman password. So go ahead and give red hat. Okay, so it says all authentication passwords are updated. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the shadow file. Remember, shadow file is a password file. Okay. Password file holds the username. It doesn't hold the password. Shadow file holds the password. This file holds the password, encrypted password. Okay, if I do cat etc password shadow, now this user has a alphanumeric number in here. That means just by looking at it, he will tell you this user has the password set. So so go ahead and open another session. In Putty, right click on the top and click duplicate session. Log in as normal. So when you log in here, you're going to come into the master here. Now this time around, I'm going to connect to my other server. Right, Zafar 2. I'm going to connect to my other server here. Everybody go ahead and do that while I'm doing this. Okay, since passwordless is set up, I'm into Zafar 2. Alright, stop me when you guys are not caught up.
My one shows that the authenticity of host can be established.
You're connecting to your second box. You're connecting to
Yeah,
your second server, right?
yeah,
Who is this?
yeah.
What is the IP address you're connecting to? 10 dot what?
10.1.10.158.
Okay. So it's not working?
It shows ECDSA key fingerprint is.
Yes, go ahead and type yes. Because your passwordless is not set up. When it asks you for the password, go ahead and give the password.
Yeah, now asking for the password.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, now it works.
Okay. When you get a chance, make sure you establish passwordless, okay?
The sudo, so by typing sudo, that it means it creates a password, right?
No, you as your own user, you could change the password as whenever you want. But if you want to change somebody else's password, then you have to be sudo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go sudo password Superman. So the password is established here, right? Give me 1 second.
Sudo password Superman. Where I should type in the second server?
No. We are not there yet. We're not there yet, buddy. In the second server yet. Okay, so but you do in the first server you have Superman access, right? So what I'm gonna do is sudo password Superman, and this will hold the password here. So this is the example of Superman. Okay, this is the password here. So on the second server, go ahead and make sure you are in a part of wheel group. ID Zafar. Do your own ID and then make sure you're part of wheel group. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to type on the second server, type user add Zafar and hit enter. I'm sorry. Do user add Superman. Okay, access denied. So what you got to do is you got to do sudo user add Superman, then provide the password. Okay, I'm onto the second server. I'm onto the second server, and if I do cat etc password, okay, so the user is set here. Okay, but if you look at the shadow file, again permission is denied, so you do sudo, and for Superman the password is not there. So now what you do is you have a request to set the same exact password as the other user, as the Superman on computer 1, system 1. Okay, so what you have to do is,
I think you went too fast.
yeah, I know. All right, where should I stop? I'm pausing now, but let me ask you, everybody go ahead and connect to the second server. Everybody is done with the first server, right? Creating the password for Superman, everybody is done? Okay, so everybody go ahead and connect to the second server and create a user named Superman. Okay, so once you're created a Superman, cat the file, clear cat etc password or shadow. Now cat etc password, this will confirm the Superman is in there, and then clear again cat sudo, because it's a root command, sudo etc password shadow. Okay, so looking in here, the Superman password is not set. So what you have now is you got a request to copy the same exact password from here to another system here. So if you in putty, if you highlight here, it should automatically just copy it for you. So you got a request here, but they're not telling you what the password is, right? So what you do is you copy this. Make sure you're not copying the semicolon. Copy in between the semicolons. And here, instead of sudo,
What is the command? Cat sudo space cat
yeah,
and then etc shadow.
etc shadow, yeah. You do this on the first server. Do this on first server, and then expand your window, putty window, and make sure you're copying this long alphanumeric ID number. Okay?
Yeah.
Once you do that, you go into the second server, vi etc shadow. and go all the way down. We are in edit mode here now. So push I as in India. On the last line, bring your cursor, and where you see 2 exclamation marks, go ahead and delete that and just right click there. If you just highlight this here on this putty, it's automatically copied to your clipboard and just paste it. Right, when you right click it, it will paste it for you. Okay, escape, save and exit. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. So everybody talk to me. Where are you now?
Can you repeat the last VITC shadow thing? You went by really fast and I wasn't able to keep up.
Yeah. Are you on second server? Or are you on first server?
Server already copied the password for Superman from the first server.
Okay. So are you in the file now? I don't think you're in file. So to get
No, I'm not. Oh yeah.
so to get inside the file, do sudo. Make sure you do vi instead of cat. vi/etc/shadow. And hit enter. So you will see in here there are some system generated service accounts here. We're not interested in that. We are interested in giving Superman the access. So you could come in front of this line. I'm sorry, in this line, come in front of these 2 exclamations, okay? And push I as in India. And do couple backspaces. I'm sorry, not backspaces. What we'll do is it will delete the exclamation in there and just simply right click. Since you highlighted from the other window, simply right click, it will paste it in there. Make sure, then do escape. So you get out of the edit mode. Make sure your password is between the semicolons. If the semicolon is gone, then it's not going to work. Okay, everybody with me?
Show the VI command again.
Yeah. I'm going to undo myself here. It's just the vi command, vi/etc shadow. What you're doing is you're just adding sudo in front of it. Because to edit this file, shadow file, you have to be root. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and go down here. I'm gonna go into edit mode when I do insert, and I'm gonna right click in there. I have to copy it again. Make sure you're meticulous about copying this. If you copy the extra colon or extra semicolon, that's not going to work. I think I copied extra colon in there. Okay.
I don't find the Superman user.
You don't find what?
As the Superman user, I can find it.
Yeah, go ahead and create one. Sudo user at Superman. Why is it saying this? Everybody's getting the same message, warning changing a read-only file. You know what, actually, we'll come back to this here a little later. Let's get away from this. Because I think what is happening here is I will actually come back to this at the end of the administration. This is too advanced at this moment here. So ignore whatever I said so far. So what we did so far is just stick with, let's do ID Superman. Okay. So we found out that this Superman is no more working in the company here, right? So what I'll do is I have to delete the ID Superman. So what you do is user del Superman.
Back on server 1, right?
Yeah, do it on server 1. In fact, everybody quit server 2. So quit server 2, just stay in server 1. So the password to do the user del is user del. But in fact, let's go ahead and switch to user root first. Let's do sudo sudo su hyphen and hit enter. So everybody go ahead and become root. Okay, once you become root, you find out okay, once you become root, you found out the Superman is not there anymore. You have to delete the user. Okay, so what I'm going to do is user del command is user del USERDEL Superman. Okay, that's it. The user is gone. So etc password, this file will hold the user information and password holds the encrypted password information. Okay. Now user del deletes the user. So if you do cat etc password, the user should be gone. User Spider-Man should be gone. Okay, so I don't see Superman in there. And if you do cat etc shadow, okay, and you don't see, the last user we have is Terminator in here. The Superman is gone. Okay, that's how you create a user and delete a user. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is show you this information here. You must be wondering what this is, right? When you do cat etc password and you have this information here, right? So Terminator and all this, I'm going to tell you what this is. In fact, I'll put this information here. The user is added to this file, gets updated. No, it's a bad idea because we created a user in here. Okay, so reading /etc password user information. Okay, so we're gonna look at the username Terminator. So we have, how many fields we got here? We got one. I'm counting between the colons here. So I have one field, I have second field 2, 3, 4, this is 5, and this is 6, and I have 7 fields in here. Okay, so what I could do is, let me open 7 fields. So first field is a Terminator. Second field is X. X. Then this is there. Then this one is blank. The second last is home/Terminator. And the last one is bin bash. Okay, so the first, it says here Terminator, right? What is Terminator here? What do you guys make of Terminator? Is the user. Okay, and the second field here is, in here when user is logging in, it will check for password. This field is for check for password. Okay, and I think I explained you these two items yesterday. The very first one is user ID. Let's put this as user number. And the group, actually this is UID, user ID. User ID number. Short for UID. UID. Okay, it's a number. And the group he belongs to, group ID. GID. Okay. And then in here, you could have user text information here. Usually it's left blank. User information. Text. And can anybody tell what this would look like? What is this means? What is this? User home directory. And bin slash bash is a shell type here. So you don't have to worry about this. In old days, it used to be a different shell types, but these days, you don't have to worry about it, what the shell type is as much. Okay, so this is informational here. I'm not going to test you on the assignment here. So what if I do okay, let's see here. So if I do ID terminator, it's giving me the same information here. And if I do ID 101, it gives me the same exact information here, because this is just the name associated with the ID and this is the number associated with the ID. Okay, everybody got it? Let's take a good 10-minute or 15-minute break, and then we'll reconvene at 11:35, and then we'll talk about more what's coming up. Okay, 11:35. Level 3. So when during the all right, so I think I covered all of this user administration. So let me the important thing you have to just remember is add the user, adding a new user, setting a password, and adding that user to the group. So for user administration, important thing is one, adding a user, and setting user password, and adding user to the group.
And not removing a user from a group.
He is there though. Yeah, in fact, I haven't used it, and something came up last week. I just put in Google and find out. I'm not using it often, so I'm not showing you. And delete user. That's it. Once the user is in group, the things are so advanced these days. There is actually something called Active Directory. Adil, you may have heard about that, because the users and groups are being monitored even on the Linux environment on using Active Directory. Did you hear about Active Directory?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The ones we are creating is on the lower level, on the system level. Now what I'm going to do is, let's start a new topic. It's called permissions. This is very important and very interesting topic here. Okay, you will love this. I'm doing this every day, day in and day out. I'm doing this. Permissions, okay. All right, I'm going to clear the screen. And what I'm going to do is, on your first server, do ls, and you should not have anything in there. So what you do is, create a file, touch file 1. Do ls-l. Now we're gonna deal with all this stuff here, what we have here, okay? So here we're gonna take a look, and this part we're gonna concentrate on this part here, okay? There's a lot of information in here than you think of. So let me make this a bigger. So this part This is not big enough here. Hold on. Okay, in here we have some blocks in here. So look at this part here. There's a bad color here. Let me get rid of this and try to change the color. Okay. Look carefully in here. What you have here is okay, this part here. This block has three numbers in there. One R, W, and hyphen. Okay. So this part belongs to user. User permission. And from here to here, this part is called group permission. Okay, and from here to here, not the period, not including that period. Okay, this part is others permission.
What about the fast hyphen?
I'm sorry?
What about the fast hyphen before R?
Yeah. If this this hyphen indicates either if it's a directory or usually when we saw the directory it has a little D in there, right? If it's a hyphen, that means it's a file. Okay? Or if it's a D, it's a directory. This looks messy here. Hyphen is file, and then when you have a D, dir, it's a directory, dir. Okay, and this part is giving you this root here is a user root. And this part is a group. Remember, group name is also root here, okay? User group, user and this is group. Okay, I'll explain you much more in here because this is really important and I want to make sure you guys understand this. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll make a table also. That way you have very good understanding here. So I'm going to copy this part again. And I'm going to highlight this part. From here to here, this part is, let me do green, and from there to there, this part, the positions it has is okay. Now here, this part, what I'm gonna do is how many? 9. Okay, so if you look closely here, these are 9 positions. 1, 2, 3. That's user. 1, 2, 3. That's group. 1, 2, 3. That's others. Okay, the first part here we're looking at is user. And the user is represented with U. Group. And the group is represented with G. And others is represented with O. Okay, remember that. and you see R, W, and blank, blank, right? So R is read, write, execute. And read is represented with lowercase r, W is represented with lowercase w, and execute is represented by lowercase x. I'm trying to lowercase this and this thing won't do it. Let's try it here. W X. All right, it's going to be the same story across now. Okay, so this part is for the group read, write, execute, group read, write, execute, read, write, execute for others. All right, I'm gonna pause here for a minute and tell you or indicate. I'm gonna give a 2-minute pause, okay, while I type up something here. Okay, so now in here, looking at it here, so what is happening here is read, write, execute, read, write, execute. It has the number in here. Okay, so looking at it here, which of this is turned on here on the for file 1? Which one is on for this part here, the yellow part? For read, is read on or off? Anybody?
It on.
Okay, it on means I'll put a number there for. What about write? On or off?
On.
Okay, 2. And hyphen is off. So should I put on or off?
0.
0. Very good. Let's do this part here, the one in the blue. What is the blue one is saying?
It's 422. 644. It's 4 only.
No, this part here.
Yes, 4.
4. What about write?
0.
And execute 0. Okay, and what about here?
4.
How much?
4,
Okay,
0, 0.
0, 0. Very good.
6, 4, 4.
So actually, let me get out of this here. So I'm going to copy this permissions here down on the bottom. And what read does is, what is the meaning of read? By the way, all these things are in lowercase, okay? Remember, all these things are lowercase. I think I told you start of the class that there is no such thing as alphabetical correctness or grammar in Linux. So read is, what does read does is, a user could read a file. Write means a user could read and write. No, user could write a file. Write a file or edit a file. Execute means this is for script. Script file. If you are deleting a file, that means you are executing a file too. Okay. And deleting a file or folder. So here, let's determine the permissions for our file1. Okay, so I copied the permissions for our file1, and let's see what is the numeric value for. Let's determine the numeric permission for our file1. Okay, so I have read, write, execute here for file1. Okay, so I am highlighting this part here. Okay, so somebody help me with this part, the part in yellow. What do we have? What is R? How much is R?
4.
Plus.
2.
Okay. Plus 0, right?
2. Yeah.
0. Okay, so that's that part is done. Okay, now for the middle part, this part. 4. Plus
0, 0.
0 plus
0,
0.
0.
Okay, good. And same thing here, right? 4 plus 0 plus 0. Okay, so what is the total here I have here is 6.
Total.
Yeah, 6, and what do I get here? 4, and here 4. Okay, so our permissions is, you know what? I did it really. This shouldn't be that here. Okay, so let me just put it in a box. Okay, so the user part, group other, right? So user part is what? Read, write, hyphen, read, hyphen, hyphen, and read, hyphen, hyphen. So let's place the number in wherever we have this here. So what do we have here? Read is what? 4 plus 2 is what? 6. And here is just 4 and 4. So our final permissions for our file 1 is, so the numeric permission for our file 1 is 644. Okay, I think this is too much. Let's take 5-minute break. We'll come back, and then we'll do another 20 minutes, and we'll be done for the day. Okay? All right. So break starts right now. Let's do 10-minute break. We'll back at 12:35. So this is this is very important here. Don't worry about this if you don't understand, but you will be doing this and day in and day out. Okay, day in and day out, this is what you will be doing. So let's see here. Let's fool around a little bit and change permissions and see how this is going to work. Okay, so everybody remember, read is number 4, write is number 2, execute is number 1. This is not going to change. These are static values. Okay, so what will happen now is, so modify the permissions. Okay, let's determine here for this file, what we need to do is grant, our task is to grant the, let me just make this bigger here. Okay, grant grant full permission to user. Okay, so what do we have to do here? We are gonna give the full permission to user here, and this is what we have right now. User is read, write, and hyphen, so he's 6. Group is right now read and hyphen, and he is what? At 4. And other is just read hyphen, and he's sitting at 4 also. By the way, what do you think is the maximum permission? What would be the maximum permission here?
777.
Yeah, 777. But we are giving only full permission to user only. This dude, this part. Right now he doesn't have full permissions, right? Does he? No. So when you do 777, you're giving it to everybody, but we are dealing with only this part here. Over here, I'm gonna add maximum permission. Would be you just have to add this all up. Maximum permission is 7. Yeah, go ahead.
So in real life, do you allow permission like 7 to a user?
In some scenarios, when it comes a time to execute a script file, then you may have to.
So otherwise, usually the administrator has all permissions.
Yeah, the default permission given by a system is 644. So let's create a touch file 2, and if I do LSF and L, he's going to create the default permissions is 644. Okay, I will come to that when I explain you UMask here. Okay, so that is a very good question and natural one. So I'm going to get rid of file 2 here, but let's deal with file 1. File 1, we need to give the permissions here. So what is the permission we want to give? So this is current permission. Current permission. In fact, let me just copy this part here. This is current permissions, right? And the permission needed. So let's look at this here. I said grant full permission to user only. Okay, read between the lines here, guys. Over here, you might get confused what a user is. So the other is a monkey wrench, which will confuse you a lot. And user, might you think which user, you know. In this case, user is whoever the user is, the owner. I'll come back to you what the user and owner is in a little bit. In fact, user permission, I should have written here owner. I should have written here owner also, but it's okay. User is let's see here. Let's keep it user for now. Now our problem is grant full permission to user only, right? So this is the current permission and permission needed. So what I have to do is I have to read, write, execute. So what will this number be? I have to do the math here. I have to do. I'm sorry, what?
7.
Yeah, 7. Very good. Why 7? Because we are, each number we are using 4, 2, 1. It makes 7 here. Okay, 7. And we're going to leave everything else the same. Grant full permission to user only. And leave group and other as is. Okay, so as is means 4, 4. Okay, now here's the command. We're gonna learn the new command. So modify the file permission. So modifying the file permission. The command is chmod. chmod. This stands for change, modify, change modification. So it's all lowercase here. So everybody help me here. I just gave you the chmod, and what would be my number here? What would be the permission number here? What is the permission number we just determined? The new permission number.
744.
744. Very good. And file 1. I'll hit enter. I do ls-l, file 1. There you go. You could obviously see the difference here. Okay, so we use the command here chmod 777 and it changed the modification. So if you look closely here, read, write, execute has changed.
I have a question for you, Mr. Zafar.
Yeah.
On the compared to the previous line that before we modified the permission, it has the hyphen after the W, but since we made 7, how come there's no hyphen after the X before the new R?
Okay, because here I told you, because we changed it. So we are giving you, here is represented with, we are giving this permission here. So there was no, it was 0, the execute was not there, so it just gave a hyphen. Now the execute permission is there, so it's giving you X there. When you see read, write, X, that means it has full permissions.
Oh, so basically it grouped the group and the user together.
No.
Before the
no, this is user, and this is group, and this is other. This is the numbers here. Read, write, execute. These are the permissions. Read, write, execute.
Right. Okay. So there's nothing to separate the X from the R, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's coming down from 1969. So unless you invent another operating system, I mean these are the things that you're gonna get paid for. Okay, if somebody looks at this, a Windows guy look at this, he's gonna go crazy. What the heck is looking at? Okay, I mentioned start of the class, you will be typing everything in the dark window. All these things make sense to you. But people who have no Linux skills, they are clueless, right? Even though this, I mean, I understand that in this day of age, it should have like better output here, but still it looks so amateurish, you know. It looks like, oh, somebody just did a shady job, not making a good difference here. But that's how it is. Okay? All right. Now, let's work on one more task before we wrap up for the day. So this is our permission here. Can you go on mute, please? Okay, so what we're gonna do is whatever we have here, we're gonna say grant okay, so here we're gonna say like grant full permission to other, and then keep rest of the leave group and other leave group and leave user and group as is. Okay, so let's do the math here. So this is the current permissions. Would you agree? Current permissions. Okay, and permission needed. So we are adding grant full permissions here. So what will happen? We have to remove this and read, write, execute. So what will be the number here? Read, write, execute. Just worry about this part here. 7, right? Okay. So now when we're going to give the permissions, chmod 747 file 1. And I'll hit enter lsfnl file 1. So there you go. This 3 positions is read, write, execute. This is user read, write, execute. And the group, it doesn't have too many permissions. You just have read permissions here. So this is matching up with the number here. All right, is that good enough? So I think I'm gonna stop here, and then we'll pick it up where we leave off, and then next week, we will work on this furthermore. I'll put in some good and easy and funny assignment. Please do that. It should be easier. And for those who have not done the last week's assignment, please do it. At least attempt to do it here. It's not a big deal, right? It's not gonna cost you arm and a leg. It's pretty easy here. It says connect to your own 2 servers. and practice this. If you have already done this, run this command rm-rf then period sh, then you could do this here. If you have a good understanding, you are all good. But if you practice it and let me know, then it's for your own benefit.